Yo guys, welcome back to another video. This is the second in the series of reviewing all of the OP-07 cards. Red was the first color that we did. We're about to jump into green. And before I do, I just want to give a quick shout out to One Piece Top Decks here for having all of the cards translated into English so quickly so that people like me can use this. And another quick shout out to Azrif just for being the person that inspired me to do this, like the set review by color and making these videos like this. But without any further ado, let's jump into it and let's get started. Alright, so first up, we got Jewelry Bonnie. She's finally a leader, and look at that alt art. So good, so good. I like the dragon alt art as well, but just not as much. They're all really cool, right? But this Jewelry Bonnie leader is really good. I think this is going to be the best deck out of OP-07 and a possible contender for best deck in format for the whole like OP-07 meta. But we'll have to see. So she's a 5,000 special, Supernovas and Bonnie Pirates, 5 life, green leader, mono green. On opponent's attack, once per turn, you may rest 1 Dawn. Rest up to one of your opponent's leader or character. That's really crazy. Rest up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters. Kind of insane, just really, really strong. I think this also obviously works really well with a lot of other green cards like 10 cost Dofi. A lot of the other Supernova support that we got from EB01, like cards like Cavendish and Basil Hawkins, is going to be crazy. Yeah, I mean, there's so much that we could get into with Bonnie, but I'll have to leave that for a separate video itself. Let's just get into the next cards. We got my boy Aladdin. What up, Aladdin? Fishman. Bandai trying to give the Fishman support. This is a decent card, actually. 5 cost, 6,000. Blocker on KO. If your leader has the Fishman type, play a 3 cost or lower Fishman or Mermaid, Merfolk type character card from your hand. So, not like too crazy, like a decent on KO effect. And I will always be a proponent of saying this. 5 cost blockers are goated. You saw how strong they are in Purple Luffy. You see how strong it is with Black Sabo and decks like Sokka, Moria, and Perona. And it's the wall that people can't get over. Amaru can't get past this. Amaru can't touch a 5-drop blocker, right? There's so many situations where having the 5-drop blocker is really important. I think it's pretty good. This is actually good support for Fishman. Not that I think it will really do much, but all you Hody Jones stands out there, rise up because you're getting a little bit of support. And we got Rouge. 4 cost, 5,000, counter 1,000. He's another blocker. And then end of your turn, set up to one of your Dawn cards as active. So not bad. Again, if this would have been the same stats as Aladdin, this would have been cracked. Obviously, they wouldn't have been able to give it a counter. And I don't think it's too big of a problem, but yeah, again, just a 4 cost blocker in this economy. A 4 cost blocker doesn't get you too far, but it's pretty good, and it's another Supernova. Not too bad. Then we got my girl Otama. Let's go. This card is almost amazing, So 1 cost, 0 power, 2k counter, which is great. On play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 green, I repeat, green Land of Wano type color type card other than Otama and put it into your hand. Then bottom deck the rest in any order. Otama, Land of Wano, it's a rare. When I saw this card get released, I was jumping for joy. As a yellow-green Yamato main and someone who has been playing red-green Odin from EB01, those are my 2 main decks right now. As you can tell, I love the Wano archetype. Dude, I was so excited. I was so excited. And don't get me wrong, this card is still good. It's a 2k counter, and it's decent in red-green Odin, but it's unplayable in yellow-green Yamato for the most part. Like, you can try, I just don't think it's gonna work. Like 99% of the Wano cards that you're running in Yamato are all yellow, and I mean that's like how Bandai made it too, you know. So like, yeah, I guess if you're running secret rare Yamato or like 8-drop Odin in, you're just not going to be running 8-drop Odin and yellow-green Yamato unless you're like trying to really bring the spice. I think the thing here is they thought, oh, we'll give it a 2,000 counter, but we'll make it only green. And I don't know why they did that. I think they would have been totally okay just keeping this a counter 1k and just making it all Land of Wano. Like we don't have a generic on-play Land of Wano searcher. Momo is like the Bonnie, like the activate main, rest this character in search. So a little sad. I'm a little sad. I'm not gonna lie. The alt art is super cool. Otama's just man, so close, so close. But we'll see. I might be speaking too soon about it. You know, we'll see. Next we got Caribou, little Caribou, good old Caribou. 4 cost 5k power, counter 1000. If you have 6 or more rested Dawn, this character gains plus 1k power, and it's a blocker. So that's pretty cool. Caribou, you dirty little boy. You're a dirty, dirty, bad little boy. If you know, you know. Yeah, it's an uncommon. I don't know. It's a supernova, right? In the Caribou Pirates. I don't know. Because there's Caribou and Caribou, I believe. Yeah, Coribou. So this is Caribou and Coribou. I'm gonna skip Koala for 1 second just so we can look at this. 3 cost 3000 on play. Play up to 1 cost 4 or lower Caribou from your hand rested, right? But no counter. This is also a supernova. I feel like this is just one of those. This is Shachi and Penguin from OP1, where like has potential, but like you couldn't search Shachi or Penguin, so it was like such a luck reliant factor. This is like searchable, but just like not that good. I don't know. Being a 5 cost would be better than having 6k power, in my opinion. And there's so many other busted supernova cards that are coming out from EB01 and OP07 that I think it's just kind of like unnecessary. Now let's take a look at Little Koala. This one So did. If you don't know, they're the person that did the really awesome like Otama, the Chopper super rare alt art from EB01, and they've done a few others. They've done a lot of cool Pokemon art too. Shout out to them. Super sick artists. I love this like cool very like, you know, hand drawn like colored pencil kind of like watercolor-esque style. So this is from Fool Shout Island. This is from like Koala's flashback or whatever, I believe. So on opponent's attack, you may rest this card. Give up to one of your characters the 5 cost lower and Fishman type blocker for this turn. So this card was almost really good if it just wasn't 5 cost or lower, because a lot of the Fishmen are at 4 cost. Yeah, first of all, a lot of the Fishmen are 4 cost, and they don't have the highest stats. A lot of their power comes from like boosting them or giving them, you know, whatever from the effect of the card. I don't know. I don't see this being very good, but cool that Koala got a card, I guess. This is the 5-drop Bonnie. Cool alt art, of course, eating the pizza. I actually like the regular art better on this one. 5 cost 6k on play and 1k counter. On play, up to one of your opponent's rested characters or Dawn do not become active during their next refresh phase. Supernovas, Bonnie Pirates. This is a super rare. This card's busted. This card's really good. This card is freaking amazing. It's got a counter too. I don't know if they needed to give it a counter, but I guess when you're trying to like power creep color to be better than black and yellow, this is what you got to do, right? This is Bandai saying, we see you yellow haters, we see you Sakazuki haters, and we're trying to help you, and this is our answer to all of that. Yeah, this is really good. Obviously, this is going to pair well with the Bonnie leader, where you can rest up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters. This is one of your opponent's characters or Dawn. So it does not rest them, it just keeps those rested cards rested, and they do not become active during the next refresh phase. So something to keep in mind there. It's kind of like Dragon leader and Dragon character, how we talked about that. But this card's going to be really good. This is a 4 of in every single Bonnie deck, and honestly, probably going to be teched into a lot of other decks. We got Jinbei. Good little Jinbei with Koala there. So this is Fishman, some Pirates. I think that should be Koala, right? Yeah, apologies if it's not. But 4 cost 6k, 1000 counter. Just a vanilla. This is more like kind of Fishman support. I mean, it's just like Jinbei leader win, right? Jinbei leader win. Give us a good Fishman leader. Then we got just vanilla 6 cost 8000 power. Counter 1000 Scratchman Apu. Cool art. Not much more to say. Unfortunately, where vanillas used to be pretty strong back in the day, like a few sets ago, I feel like if you're not getting some kind of value out of any card that's over like 4 Dawn, it's almost just completely not worth it to play. If you played this and it got removed the next turn, it's the value of the card just like literally, like, it just becomes negative on your end, you know, if that makes sense. Then we got Hawkins. This card is so sick. This altar is amazing. This is possibly the most busted card in the whole set. So 6 cost 7,000 slash. If your leader is supernova type, this character gains blocker. Then once per turn, if this character were to be removed from play by one of your opponent's effects, you may rest up to one of your opponent's characters instead. And then it's Supernova's Hawkins Pirates. Like, what? I'm sorry, what? And this is another super rare. This is so good. So good. I was just talking about how good 5 cost blockers are. This is a 6 cost blocker, which is probably better than being a 7 cost blocker, because there's so many situations where you kind of want to just throw down a heavy duty blocker, but you still really need that like 3 to 4 Dawn. Because you see this with 7-drop Luffy film blocker, where if you don't just have like the I don't know, like there's not as many additional combos that you can do with 3 Dawn, right? Like, yeah, you can play down another Nami or whatever, but, and that's why Luffy is so good, where you get to play a character off of his effect as well. But in a situation where that doesn't really apply, right? I think just these stats are amazing. This effect is amazing, because you try and Hound Blaze this, no, your Borsellino gets rested instead. You try and KO this, no, your whatever gets rested instead. They went ham. Like I'm saying, this is the power creep of a color. When you see them giving the power creep like this to one singular color, you know, like, okay, this is going to probably be the new best color in the next set or two. Maybe not. We don't know. It's gonna take the testing to see. But this is one of, if not the best card in the entire set. All right, we got Pop Bug. Yeah, Pop Bug. Nothing special here. It's a 2k counter, and if you have Kami in play, this character gets blocker, and it's an animal. It's not even Fishman, which is kind of like, oh, okay. But I guess I get it. I guess I don't know. No, I don't. I think this could have had Fishman. It would have been all right. Then we got Bardo. 3 cost 4k, counter 1000. It's a blocker. Your turn once per turn. If a character is rested from your own effects, draw 1 and discard 1. And you might, on first look, you're like, what? That's not very good. But there's a few situations where you are can end up like resting your characters. I mean, obviously the really obvious ones are like Bonnie Searcher. So if you're running a Bonnie deck and you have Baby 5 and Bonnie Searcher, like Baby 5 Searcher, Bonnie Searcher, you can easily rest them through your own effects, right? This is good. This is like a better 2-drop killer blocker. The one that draws a card if you have a Dawn on it and you have 2 or 3 or more characters in play, I believe. Yeah, really good. And it is a 3 cost, but it's 4k power, so pretty good. The power is going to be pretty important coming into the next set or two, because Red Purple Law is getting a lot better. And if you can keep your characters at least above, you know, if you can play characters that are above 3,000, so 4, 5, 6k, it's going to be harder for Red Purple Law to bottom deck them, and they don't just get the free bottom deck with leader effect. They have to minus power you, which is going to be really important in the next coming set or two, because Red Purple Law is coming back with a vengeance. Then we got Fisher Tiger. This card is also like kind of decent, but still just don't think it's enough support. So 5 cost, 6,000 power, counter 1,000. This character can attack your opponent's characters on the turn it's played. So it's rush, but it can only attack characters. It's kind of like Coliseum, or yeah, Corda Coliseum, the stage card from Dressrosa, but in its own character card. So on play, if your leader has a Fishman or Merfolk Mermaid type, rest up to one of your opponent's cost 6 or lower characters. So pretty good. Like, not too bad, honestly. It has counter, it has good stats, it can rush into a character, and I think they gave it a counter and had it rush into characters instead of just like giving it rush. Plus, if they gave another green Fishman rush on top of like Hody just outright, it might be, you know, and with another resting effect, it could be a something that might be like too good at a certain point. So I don't know if the Fishman will ever be too good, but to be used in other decks is what I'm trying to say. Then we got this Luffy is crazy good. So 5 cost 6k, counter 1,000. If you have 3 or more characters, your cost 3 or lower characters other than Monkey D. Luffy cannot be KO'd by your opponent's effects. Supernova Straw Hat Crew. So this card's really good. This is a red-green law card. I think people will be trying to run this. It's gonna be, the thing here too is, yes, you have to have 3 or more characters, so it's a little bit of a costly condition to meet. But the thing here is, a Sakazuki that just throws an Ice Age on a 4-cost character cannot do that anymore. They have to, like, or a Moria that uses a Great Eruption on like a 4-cost character to bring it down to 2 so they can KO with Absalom. Not anymore, right? Not anymore. So they have to find other ways to like get around KOing your characters, or just try and bottom deck things, right? So while it seems like, oh, it's 3 cost or lower, this is gonna affect all of your characters, because if you have a 6-cost character and it gets Ice Aged, it's a 1-cost. It can no longer be KO'd while this Luffy is on the field, right? If it's not another Monkey D Luffy, obviously. Which I didn't think about that at first, but I heard someone talking about that and I thought about it as well, and I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Plus, just such an awesome moment from the series, like the punch heard around the world, basically. Next we got Zoro. Cool art, throwback for sure. Supernova, Straw Hat Crew, 1 cost, 2,000 power, counter 1,000. When attacking, if you have 3 or more characters in play, this card gets 2,000 power for the turn. I don't know. If he was a 1 cost, 3,000 power, sure, I could see that. It's just, and especially because it seems like it wants to go with this Luffy, right? And it kind of wants to be played in Law, and Law doesn't have a lot of, even though it's just like a 1 or a 2 Dawn here and there, it doesn't have a lot of Dawn that it can like throw onto extra characters until maybe you're sitting at like 8, 9 Dawn. Yeah, 8, 9, 10 Dawn, like around those turns. So I don't know. This could be good. I'm not a red-green Law player, so if you are, let me know. Let me know, yeah, if you're a red-green Law player, or like a mono-green Kid player, let me know what spice you're like looking forward to, or like what combos you're gonna do, because I'm actually really interested in that. Next we got Karma Exposure. Next we got Karma Exposure. It's a 1-cost counter event, and it's give up to one of your leaders or characters plus 2,000 power during this battle. Then if you have 3 or more characters, that card gains an additional 1,000 power during this battle. Trigger, KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with the cost of 4 or less, Supernovas and Fallen Monk Pirates. So this is like another attempt at like a green Rad Beam, which we've kind of seen before, but this one's better. I don't know, man. Like, if we weren't currently in the meta of like just every body you play on board gets immediately destroyed, like I would say, yeah, it's all right. It's actually not too bad. The trigger is pretty good. The trigger is decent. KO up to a rested 4-cost or less. It is a common, so that's good. People can grab a playset and just try it out. I don't know. This one in the right meta would be really strong, but that's a huge caveat there. Next, we got everyone's favorite attack name to say. It's a 2-cost main event. So main, up to one of your leader or characters cards gain 3,000 power during this turn. Then you may rest one of your cost 3 or greater characters. If you did, rest up to one of your opponent's cost 5 or less characters. Trigger, you may rest up to one of your opponent's cost 4 or less characters. And it's Supernova Straw Hat Crew. Demonic Aura 9 Sword Style Ashura Demon 9 Flash. Not sure if this will be the official name. I don't remember the exact name from like the manga as well. Yeah, this is a good card. This is cool. This is where I was saying too, this will be good with Bardo, right? So yeah, maybe you rest a searcher or card that you don't need to attack with, and then you get to rest a 5 or less, which, as I've been saying, 5-cost blockers are amazing because there's only a few cards that can actually affect them. One of them being Backlight with Uta, and then this one, you can rest them. Obviously Reject as well can KO, but if you had just played a Sabo, they're safe, right? So never underestimate the power of something that can KO or rest a 5-cost or less, especially for only 2 Dawn. Out of these 2 events so far, I think that one's the best. And then we just got more Pizza Okawari. 1-cost main. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 card with the Supernova type besides more Pizza and add it to your hand. Then place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. Trigger, draw 1 card. So decent trigger actually too. I love Pizza, so I love this card. Nah, just a cool card. Awesome moment too. And yeah, this is your Supernova 1 cost event searcher. Alright, so that is it for the green cards. Next up will be blue. Just to summarize my thoughts on all the green cards, obviously I think that green got the most support this set. I think green got probably the best support out of EB01 as well. Bonnie Leader's pretty busted. Bonnie character card is busted. Hawkins is busted. A lot of other cool support. Red Green Law Stands rise up. He might be actually really strong again, especially if black gets hit. They kind of did my girl Otama dirty, but it's still a pretty good card. And if you're a Supernova fan, I mean, even like Mono Green Kid is gonna be pretty strong from all this. So green players be eating good in OP-07. So I hope you guys are happy. I like green. Red, green, yellow are my favorite colors. So I will be testing around with a lot of this stuff and playing some stuff at locals as well. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.